We've got some fresh.
Hey, I'm Luis.
And
I'm Luis.
You're listening to the Content is Profit podcast.
We spent the last 4 years learning the strategies and techniques from some of the top marketers in the world on how to create content that turns into profit.
If you'd like to learn more about how to turn your content into profit, go to contentisprofit.com. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yes. I think we are nailing this thing down.
We are getting it down.
What do you guys think? If you are watching live right now, share the love. Let us know how we're doing.
Oh yeah, I think eventually we'll have a pre-recorded intro that will like slide in, not in the live recordings, but if you're watching on iTunes or Spotify, whatever you're listening this.
That sounds fancy.
Daniel, tell me, what are we gonna be talking about today?
Today is a very important topic. It's very dear to us because we've actually built a big part of our business around this thing. So we're going to be talking about why is it important to be social in social media.
There we go. That sounds really cool. You know, and I want to make a point here. You know, it's called social media, and everybody.
Yeah.
And usually, I feel like everybody just uses social media to showcase themselves. And that's about it, not to actually be social and connect with others, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to get to that. So stay tuned because we're going to reveal, you know, kind of like some secrets that we've used to create what we call content conversations.
I love it. I think that term, you came up with it.
To
like
create
one
some
day.
profit.
I hopefully you share the story. Hopefully you remember. But I have a couple of good stories here today. Now, guys, if you are watching live, comment below. Say, I'm in. Say hi, share the love. And if you're listening in any of the podcast platforms, same thing. Say hi, go to our social media. We want to know that you're listening. We want to know if you like it. Social media, what's the handle?
The handle, what?
At BIZBROS
at
Go.
BIZBROS Go. Wow.
Come on. Wow. Guys, all right. So before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe. We're doing this for you guys. We love it. We are having a blast recording these episodes live.
Dude, we actually got a question right here from Chris. What if you run out of ideas to post? I have this problem with my business pages. Chris, I love that question. Today's topic about content conversation might be a little bit different to that, but if you go to contentisprofit.com, you can find a submission form where you can drop us any questions and we'll get back to you and we'll let you know. You know, we'll answer your questions straight to you.
I think we should answer really quickly. We can have a little parenthesis, right? So the question is like, what if you run out of ideas to post? I have this problem with my business pages. So we have a really good technique. It's called the content primer, right?
Content primer.
And this idea came out because we had the same issue, right? And a lot of the businesses that we were coming to help had the same thing, right? So here's what you do. You start. So your ideal client, right? The people that you serve are going to have a problem, right? They're going to go from a point A, which is I don't have the solution. I don't know how to solve it, to point B, which is I know how to solve that problem, right? Or I have it, right?
Yep.
I have the solution. So in between those 2 points in time, right? There's going to be a ton of steps in the middle that you can provide the solution to. So the first thing is like writing a piece of paper, point A, if your client doesn't have that solution, and then point B, the solution that they want to get to. And then in the middle, start writing all the steps that takes that client or your client to get to that end point, right?
Yeah,
as soon as you do that, you're going to have 10 to 20 steps that you can start developing. And under that topic, then you're going to have a ton of little topics to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. And another thing that I want to add to that is that don't be afraid to share, you know, about the one same topic that more than one time, right? Like people are so afraid to repeat their message, but if you don't repeat the message, people are not going to learn it, right? It takes a few times for people to learn things. So feel free. Maybe you can explain it with different stories, right? You can explain it obviously in like a few weeks in between or whatnot, but it's totally okay to repeat your message. I mean, I'm trying to find an example, right? But usually businesses, they solve one problem, right? Like one very specific problem. And I mean, the content they create is around that one problem. And honestly, there's a limited amount of like maybe solutions that they can get to, or like topics that they can talk about. But you can always repeat the message with either different stories, different ways that you come up with the answer. But the best way to come up with topics, honestly, is just ask your audience.
Yeah. Dude, Chris, I love this question. We're actually probably going to be using it in a future episode. And that's another way to do it, right? Ask your clients, ask your audience, what do they want to know? What are they struggling with?
Yep.
And every single question of that can become a piece of content that you can use to provide value to your audience.
Yep,
the last
right.
thing that you can do is document your journey, document what you're doing. We actually, in the last couple of episodes, we've talked about the 45 Live, which was our experiment to go live on Facebook for 45 days straight. And the people that we talked to, we share this story with, they have the same questions. They go like, oh, what do I talk about in 45 days? And today we're actually going to go into a story very similar to that. And the framework that I personally used was I was documenting and I was sharing the stories that we were having every single day with our clients.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we went for the 45 Live. I think we went with different strategies. You went with more of the documenting side of it.
Yeah.
And I went more with what we call the Epiphany Bridge, right? Which that's a whole different topic for another day. But pretty much is think of the beliefs that your dream client has, right? Like what is stopping them from making a purchase in your business? And then all you gotta do is have stories that turn those beliefs into, don't turn those beliefs. They crush those beliefs.
They crush them.
Pretty much, right? Like,
yes.
So I have a belief that, for example, I mean, I know, Chris, I know you play soccer. So I have a belief that I'm not a good dribbler, right? So someone else is gonna try to sell me a course on how to become a good dribbler. They're gonna tell me a story of how they trained this one kid that didn't know how to dribble at all. And through practice, repetition, whatever, through what your method is, they turn them into a good dribbler. And I'm going to see myself in that kid, right? I'm going to relay that story to myself. And I'm going to be like, you know what? Maybe I can do it. And I'm going to buy into your program. Yeah. So again, just think of those beliefs that your audience might have and just ask yourself, how can I crush those beliefs? Again, questions invite revelations.
I love that this episode is turning into a little Q&A here.
I know, it sounds Q&A.
I love it.
We might have to change the title.
We might have to adapt really quickly. But hey, Mandy is asking, is there a good order to post in? Example, picture, video, carousel pictures, or does it not matter? What do you think, Fonzie? What do you think?
Again, I'm personal, and this is a personal opinion. This is not, I want to be clear on this one. This is not backed up through any like research on the algorithm or anything. I think what works best is consistency and posts that keep your audience engaged, right? Because, and again, this is what lately I've been seeing a lot of accounts that they post a lot of carousels. And they have been growing super, super quick. So the reason why is not because of the type of post, but it's because they are very good at getting your attention and keeping it throughout all 10 slides of the carousel.
Yeah, think about this, guys. Like, we got to learn about the history of the platform that you are using, right? So most of the platforms, right, if not all, they want your attention. They want your time. That's why Facebook Lives are so effective and they get rewarded so big. That's why carousels are rewarded big, right? They want people to stay in the platform. So what's a type of post, what's a type of content that keeps your audience engaged and keeps them in that platform? So I think number one tip is start experimenting, right? If we do not start publishing, it's going to be really hard to find what your audience likes, what your audience engaged with. So start experimenting. If you see, there's a ton of tactics out there, right? But like Fonzie said, I think consistency is one of the biggest ones. So we're going back always as that minimal viable content. Right now, if you're strapped for time, what's that minimal viable content? And then from there, use that as your base to start experimenting and trying new things. Once you try and once you find that thing, repeat it. If you get good results, repeat it. Do it again, right?
Yeah, I think it comes down to that consistency and how can you hold people's attention for the longest time, right? So obviously video is good because people can spend, in Instagram, for example, they can spend a minute watching. If you got an IGTV video, they can spend way longer than that, right?
Yeah.
But now you need to ask yourself, how am I creating like this curiosity so people can stay watching my videos, right? So super quick, this is a simple tip that we usually use when we create our videos, or actually when we write down our episodes for the podcast, is the hook story offer, right? We didn't create that, just clarifying that. That actually the first time we heard it, and we don't know if he created it, but we heard it from Russell Brunson, right?
Yeah.
Where we gotta give credit where credit is due. And all it is you gotta hook them, right? You gotta say something that is gonna spark their curiosity, and then you tell a story, and at the end you give them an offer, right? But you don't spark their curiosity and immediately answer their question. You spark their curiosity, tell the story that eventually leads to the epiphany, the answer, right? So I'm gonna give an example. Today we started the podcast saying, hey guys, today we're gonna talk about why it is important to be social in social media, right? Have we say anything about it yet? Not yet, because we're doing the Q&A, right? But that is our hook.
But this is what's cool about it.
Exactly.
We are being social in social media right now.
We are being social in social media, exactly.
Oh
we started answering your questions, guys. Being social, but the main hook of us is why it is important, right? And we're gonna lead to that in the next couple minutes. Yeah. So stay tuned.
Well, thank you guys for those questions. I think so. For the sake of time, we're gonna dive into a couple of these things, a couple of the stories that have happened. But thank you so much for participating. If you have any other questions, if you're listening, if you are live right now, go to contentisprofit.com. Just drop us your number one question in there. We're gonna reach out personally. We're gonna help you through those problems that you might be having right now regarding content. So if you are listening, again, contentisprofit.com. All right, Fonzie, you ready to get started?
Let's go.
So this morning, I was actually listening to a wonderful book called Traffic Secrets, right? And one of the main things that they talk in there is frameworks and not just frameworks, but how do I put it? The principles, right? There's no tactic, right? Traffic, how can you make evergreen topic to the least evergreen topic ever? Right. And for those who don't know, evergreen is something that lasts for a long time.
Yep.
And traffic always changes because the platforms are always updating their algorithm, they're evolving. So if we focus on tactics itself, it's going to be really challenging to go over time, right?
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, in the world that we live in right now, I would say most people focus on tactics and kind of like that strategy, right? Because I feel like the tactics are going to provide you with the quick wins, but they're not gonna provide you with the long-lasting results.
Exactly. So social media is named social for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And think about all your life, right? You sometimes, like in the weekend, during the week, like wherever you like to party, right? You go out and you mingle and you meet people, right? And when you come into these social gatherings, what do?
You ask questions, you show interest, right?
If you're Fonzie, you just like go to a corner and sit down and just stay. No, I'm kidding. Fonzie is like the most social guy ever. Like he won't stop talking. But that's the thing, right? If you go to a party, right? Like what you want to do is you want to start meeting people. You start having conversations, asking questions to get to know these people, right?
Yeah.
You don't come to the party and you're like, hey, you want to buy something from me?
Yeah, no, definitely not.
They might call the cops on you.
They're gonna kick you out.
They're gonna kick you out. But anyway, so social media is taking that, right, and put it into a digital environment.
Yep.
So a lot of people right now, and I feel especially now today, right, that we're in the middle of this coronavirus, everybody's going online.
Yep.
Obviously, there's a lot of people in need that they need to sell, right, because if not, they're gonna go out of business, and it's a fine line there, right?
Yeah.
We know of some people that if like they do not sell right now, that's it, game over.
I mean, even So keep going. This is a
sensitive topic.
No. This is for later. I don't want to skip anything.
So one of the cool things is like, okay, how can I develop those relationships, right? So when it's time that I actually have to sell or present an offer to somebody, I have enough rapport that they're actually gonna take it seriously and it's not gonna hurt that relationship.
Yeah. No, correct. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And that's what, you know, marketing online is all about. It's about creating that rapport so people like you and trust you. So when you make an offer, it doesn't feel like you're selling, right? That frictionless sale that we've been talking about.
Yeah, maybe not like, I don't like selling as a negative term. I think sales is a very positive
For sure. Yeah,
term.
I agree.
But
100%.
maybe it doesn't sound as convincing, right?
Exactly.
Because if you are trying to convince somebody against their will, right, and then at the end of the day you achieve that transaction after convincing somebody,
you're gonna have a hard time fulfilling that one person.
exactly. I feel like it's gonna be broken. I feel like that is gonna be broken, and we've had that before in our business.
Yeah, for sure.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. Brandon says, I agree, it's all about trust. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, think about that, right? Like, if you want to be in business, right, you want to develop these relationships.
If you want to be in business, it's because you want to solve a certain type of problem, right? And to solve a problem, you are going to be helping someone. And to be able to help someone, you need to have their trust. It's as simple as that, right? Because
Exactly.
if you help them, but you don't have their trust, and then you're charging them for them, it's just sketchy, honestly. You know, and people don't like that feeling of like, okay, that transaction might not have that much value. But when there's trust in between and all the parties involved, you know, they know exactly what they're getting.
Yeah, we're actually joking
no-brainer.
before going live right here about how, like, if you're a guy, right, and you go to a party and you are trying to court a lady or a woman, right? You don't go into the party and you're like, hey, you want to come to my house right now? You're going to go to my room?
That doesn't work.
That doesn't work. Zero at all. So sometimes when we're like in social media and people don't take the social part of it, it feels that way. And it's, I feel like it's horrible. It goes south really quickly.
Yeah, I'm sure here we all have stories on you get someone sliding in your DMs. Hey, I got this and that, and I can sell you these courses for this much. And you're like, dude, who are you? Like, I don't even know who you are. Like, what's your name, you know? And that just becomes annoying. And now, honestly, in social media, it's so easy. You can just block people and, like, forget about them.
Yeah.
But you don't want that to happen to you, right? So that's when the importance of content conversation comes, right?
I love it. So, Fonzie, what exactly is content conversation? Like,
I mean,
how would you define it?
I feel it is pretty self-explanatory, but I don't think we have an official definition for it. But what it is you publish content and use that content to start conversations with people that show interest, right? Because the main idea is to have content that is gonna make people self-identify, right? Like, the people that you want to talk to, they're gonna answer, they're gonna comment, they're gonna like it. They are self-identifying themselves,
engaging.
Yeah,
right,
they're gonna
you?
be saying, "Hey, me, I like this piece of content," and then we can take the initiative to reach out to them and be like, "Hey, thank you so much. You know, what part of this post did you like, or what part of content are you having problem with?" Right? Like, we can use those pieces of content to create these conversations.
I actually remember the day, like we have like our desk, we work like right next to each other. I remember like he was there engaging with a Facebook group in one of the communities that we take part of, and he turns around and he's like, "Yeah, this is it, man. Content conversations. Yeah."
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that day?
Yeah, I think I was talking to this one guy, and he's like, "Dude, like, you're pretty good at creating conversation on social media." It's like,
so
how much do you charge? And I was like, what? It's like,
and we got to the frictionless sale.
Yeah,
there we go.
Okay, it was pretty.
So
cool.
Tell us, like, walk us through what happened. Like, do you remember exactly what was going on?
I mean, honestly, I posted. We went to one of these online Facebook groups, right? Again, we went to a Facebook group that we knew our dream clients were there. That is key. We just don't go to a fitness group and then we start talking about content, because that makes no sense whatsoever.
Exactly.
So we actually went to the ClickFunnels Facebook group.
Yeah, it's like if you show up with a burger into a vegan party.
Yeah, exactly. So we went to the ClickFunnels Facebook group, which is all about, you know, sales and selling your products. And we know for a fact that the founder of ClickFunnels, he preaches content creation. He says you need to be publishing every single time. So now our dream clients are people that publish, specifically podcasts. So we
Very often, yeah.
So we went to this group on Facebook and we're like, what are your biggest problems when creating content? And all these people, literally, they self-identify themselves, they raise their hands, and they answer in the comments. They were, my biggest problem is that I'm very nervous in front of the camera. Or my biggest problem is that I don't know what to post exactly, right?
Yeah.
And what I did, I just didn't let the comments in there, and that's it. I didn't just like him. I went in every single comment, and I asked follow-up questions. I was like, okay, why do you think you're afraid to step in the camera, right? Like, or what do you think are some good topics? Like, what is your dream client? And maybe what are some topics that you could talk about to them? And eventually that led to a conversation. Everybody just started answering back. And that just turns then into a qualifying process, pretty much. Yeah. Because you are controlling the conversation with your questions, and you can lead it where you want to. So I can ask him, oh, awesome. So maybe you're not doing video, but are you doing a podcast? And they're going to start talking about a podcast. And I'm like, this guy is a dream client because I know now he's producing some podcasts.
Look, I want to be very clear here for the people who are listening right now or watching, right?
Or light died.
That's what I want to say. No, I'm kidding. So, but I want to be really clear. Like, this is really like value content. Like, yes, there is an intention, right? There is a business, the back end, but we are truly wanting to help people, right?
Of course.
And that's very easy to identify pretty quickly when somebody's actually trying to do this strategy, and immediately they try to sell you. Hey, go here. And, you know, we get it.
I mean, sometimes the conversation will lead that way. It will lead that way, but some other times you just gotta keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Another example, right? We were doing the 45 Live, and there's one guy that he owns, I think, is some CrossFit studios, or he used to own some CrossFit studios, and now he has, it's called the gymnastic course, actually. He reached out to me and he's like, dude, I love the content that you guys are creating. And I took that opportunity to engage back with him. And I was like, dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love what you do. Tell me a little bit more, you know, like, what else are you guys looking to do? And we started talking. We created that conversation. And he actually was the one that told me, hey, let's hop on a call and let's talk about, you know, about maybe how we can help each other out. So we started talking, and those conversations have been going on for about like 3 weeks now, or about a month.
Almost
right?
a month, yeah.
Almost a month.
He's been busy, but like he keeps calling back to us. He's like, guys, like I know, like I owe you this conversation. I want to do it, but like obviously with everything, the situation going on. But he's the one reaching out, and that's, I think, when when the social conversation or the content conversation really takes effect, because that client really wants to work with you. It's not the opposite, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's key. The client wants to work with you. Is not necessarily that you're desperate to work with them. Actually, we have Brandon here say, there is such a need for this in every company, regardless of industry. Social platforms are difficult to build engagement and new relationships. Good content is good business. I agree 100%. It's all about delivering value, right? Educating your customers, you know, helping them. Actually helping them without any expectations that they're just gonna buy from you.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, those conversations are gonna lead to the sale. Again, we're not saying don't try to sell them, because you need to be proactive on the sale as well to be able to make that sale. But yeah, that's a great comment, Brandon. Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man, for participating live. If you guys have any comments, feel free to put them in the comments box. Now, I do have another story today, which was pretty sweet. Like, I think, and that's why we decided to go with this topic today.
Yeah. I have another one.
You have another one? Oh my God, keep that stories coming. Yeah, all right. So today, well, actually, like a couple days ago, this influencer, Louis House, amazing guy, like big business guy. He has a big community, right? Huge community, and he engaged with a ton of people, and he's been doing it for a while, obviously, right? Yeah. And I think a couple days ago, he posted something like, hey, I want to help you. I want to help you guys network. Why don't you put in the comments below what do you do and what do you need, right? I thought that was pretty cool, because nowadays, today especially, online is helping a ton of people, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like,
he portrayed himself as the platform so he could get everybody talking, right?
the connector, which
The
is
connector.
which is a great move on his end because he's building rapport with his audience because they're like, look at me, right? I never like ever commented on one of his posts, and I see this, I'm like, wow, like I am a business. Let me see like what comes out of this. Like that's amazing, right? So now he's way up on my report list.
Yeah, for sure.
And second, it allowed me to promote myself, right? Now, I put in there what we do and what I'm looking for. And it was incredible. Like, my DMs exploded. There's people out there that want your solution.
Yeah.
So they're like, dude, like, I am so interested. Like, what do you do exactly? What you expect? And we were able to connect and start having these conversations with really interesting people. One was a guy that has been doing podcasting for about 100 episodes, which is awesome, right? He's like, okay, perfect. Like, he qualifies to be a dream customer.
Talk about consistency, right?
Well, first off, consistency. And second, so, hey, we just started to have a conversation. I want to know what his podcast is about. He wants to know what we're doing. So we're exchanging these messages and videos, and it's super cool. And the conversation is still going, 3 days after. We had a guy from Malaysia. The guy's like, dude, like, I'm interested. Like, show me what you do. And I'm showing him. He has an agency over there that he wants to kind of grow. He's been doing it for a year. So first off, what a great experience to start like connecting with people all around the world.
Yeah.
And then the third one, and this is a pretty cool one, right? Her name is actually, let me just confirm so like I am not butchering the name.
That's fine. Just keep going with the story.
So anyway, so she's from Germany, right? And she sent me a message, and he's like, dude, Luis, I think I need what you do, right? Which is super cool. So sure. Oh man, I wish I could find her name right away. But anyways, so she's like, I wish.
So
Hold on.
She wishes what?
What does she wish?
And that's what we call a good hook, right there. He's like, what is it? What is that
Tell
she wants
me.
to say?
Julia, there we
okay.
go. Whew, my goodness. Okay, so Julia is like, I want to know a little bit more what you do, and she's all the way in Germany, so like time is a little weird. So I'm here at night responding to her, so she responded in the morning. And what I did is like, as soon before coming into the office, what I did is just send them a video instead of a message. I'm like sending a video. This is something different. Everybody sends a message, right? Some people have VAs do this for volume. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be a little bit different, and I'm going to actually share a video introducing myself and asking her a question to continue the conversations. Normally, people don't respond back with a video, but she did, and it was super cool to see that. So she responded back, and then I'm like, look, Lauren, like, how can I help you, right? That's my question. How can I help you? So we coordinated a call. So we did a video call, and Lauren is an amazing coach. So she helps single people, right, that may or may not have a very bad relationship to go from that stage into dating people again, right? So it's a very specific type of person.
Yeah, that's
so
what you want.
She had a ton of questions, and we talk about dream client and how to create content. And, like Chris's question earlier, we talked about that. We gave her the same framework, and the conversation went for about an hour, right? And I had zero intentions to sell this person. I just wanted to build that relationship. At the end of the conversations, it's like, how can we stay connected? Like, how can we keep like working together? She was the one approaching us, and I told her, look, you have homework to do, right? She like we agreed that she was gonna be publishing as a challenge for the next few days and trying to come up with those topics. And after that, I told her, look, we have this amazing product. We call it the content primer. If you are offering and you still need help, and you like, and you feel like we can help you, let me know and we'll jump on that. Right? And she's like, awesome, that's great. And the conversation left in a very, very, very positive way.
Yeah, because you build the report. She then shows the interest, and she's the one asking you, right?
That was freaking amazing. So for the next 3 days, I'm gonna keep a close eye on her, and obviously I want her to start publishing and being consistent because she was so excited, and she has such a passion for what she does.
Yeah, but you still gotta be proactive and do your follow-ups and keep on the conversation, because at the end of the day, if you wait for those relationships to be built on behalf of the other person, sometimes you might be waiting forever, right? We don't want to do that. We want to be proactive and we want to be following up. Hey, did you do this that we talked about that other day, right? Have you taken action? How else can I help you? And then eventually you're going to build so much trust and so much rapport, that people are going to ask you like, hey, okay, let's do something together, right? And I want to go to my story, my other story.
I think we have time for one more story.
One more, yeah. I think we can go for one more story and then give them some homework to those that are listening to start creating some content conversations and
love it.
Help them grow their business, right?
All right.
So this is actually one of the stories that I think when the light bulb went on, I was like, oh, wow, this guy, he's crazy. Like the way he does it. And his name is Tanner Chittister.
Tell me more. Yes.
And he has won in the ClickFunnels community. I think he won the 8-figure prize, the 2 Club X, something like that. I mean, he's really good marketer, extremely good salesman.
Yeah.
And this guy had no Instagram. He just started it not too long ago. So I go to his Instagram and I'm like, well, I'm gonna see if I can like sell him something, because I know he does video marketing, all that stuff.
Started publishing, yeah.
And I started liking his posts. I follow him, and that's it. I forget about it. All of a sudden, I get a message from him, and he's like, "Hey, Luis, what's up, dude? I saw you went to Ultra Music Festival." I think that's what he said. He's like, "I saw you went to Ultra Music Festival." This is something that happened in like 2015.
That's also a crazy story.
2016, yeah. That's a story for a different podcast. And I was like, whoa, like this guy took the time to actually go through my profile, find something that he related to, and send me a comment to create those conversations. So I was like...
Because he's from Miami, I think.
Yeah, I think
he
so.
lives in Miami.
So I was pretty impressed. And I was like, dude. So I answered, and then he started asking me. He's like, hey, Ben, like, that's awesome. I went to this year. Tell me a little bit more about what you do. And we started talking, and eventually they are super proactive with their sales processes. Just obviously, I mean, they've made over $10 million in sales.
They sell that process too. They do sell that process.
I think they sell something like that. And in that moment when I was having the conversation with him, I was like, whoa, like this is the power of content conversation, right? Because I felt in a spot where I was like, dude, this guy actually cares. And I think he did. We were having a really good conversation.
Yeah.
But it opened up my mind because until that point I was, okay, we need growth on Instagram. We need growth on Facebook. Let's just publish. But I never thought about, okay, let's publish, but at the same time, stop and engage with other people, comment on other people. But not only comment like, whoa, this post is awesome. Like, whoa, that is cool. No, like
something really meaningful, like
intentional.
Read what they say. If it makes sense and like really, really like applies to you, respond something.
You need to have
heavy, right?
You need to have intention when you go into these conversations. Or if not, you're not gonna be creating that rapport that we were talking about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, after that conversation, I was like, dude, content conversations is the way to go, especially for maybe a business that they might not have the budget to run ads 24/7. You can always spend the time creating those conversations, and trust me, clients are gonna come out of those conversations. That's 100% guaranteed.
And guys, by clients we mean your dream customer,
people that
need what you sell.
Yeah, people that you're not gonna feel like you're actually working.
Well,
right?
they need and want, right?
Yeah,
because people buy what they want, not what they need.
Yep, exactly.
All right,
that's true.
Awesome.
So
love the story. Now the homework.
The homework, right? Like
for those listening. If you are listening right now, please subscribe if you haven't done it. If you are live, share this video. And get ready for the homework.
And subscribe.
Subscribe too.
So, the homework, right? How can we create these content conversations? Yeah. That's the question that we need to be asking ourselves. First, you need to make sure you know who your dream client is, right? After you have that checked off, you're going to see, okay, where are they hanging out?
Yep.
And then you're going to go to those places or to those people's profiles, and you're going to be meaningful about the comments that you leave, about the engagement that you leave. You can send them a DM, actually. Another fun story. We reached out to Jenna Kutcher. And we send them we send her a video. We obviously never talked to her before. And we send her a video. It's like, hey Jenna, how you doing? You know, like, we love your content. We think it's amazing. We saw your lunch with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi.
Yeah.
And we think we truly believe, like, I mean, we could probably help you with your content and whatnot, right? Like,
yeah. We see that you've tried some things. We do have a product and a service that can help you, and we think it could be cool.
Yeah.
And this was a cold video.
Yeah, and it led to honestly a good conversation. She
With her,
introduced us to the person that manages her podcast and whatnot, and we've been in conversations with her. So it's been really, really cool experience. And it was because we took the time to be social and reach out to other people. So don't be afraid. So again, dream client, know who they are, know where they hang out, and then go and be intentional about the comments that you leave. Don't be afraid to send them a DM, right? Or don't be afraid if you publish and someone likes your post or comment on your post. Part of the homework is to go back to those people that commented and like your post and send them a message, send them a DM. Hey,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for liking my post or for commenting here. Why is it that XYZ calls your attention, right? Start those conversations.
Yeah. And that's great because that's going to provide you with a ton of feedback too, right? Like they're gonna have questions, and these might be objections, future objections that you want to take care of for your future sales processes, right?
Yeah, I mean, circling back to Chris' question at the beginning, right? That he says, like, sometimes I don't know what to post. Guys, these conversations are literally gonna give you
a ton of content.
Yeah, a ton of content, because they're gonna be giving you their problems. Literally, they're gonna be telling you, look, my problem with content is XYZ. And you're going to be, okay, I'm going to make content about XYZ now. And that's pretty much doing right now. We've been talking to people and they've been telling us what their problems are in regards to content and how to turn it into profit. And then we come in the podcast and we talk about those topics.
Yeah, I love it. Guys, if you enjoyed today, please like, subscribe, leave us a review if you haven't left
like,
one.
Comment, share, subscribe.
We love it, and we love going live. Thank you so much for those who tuned in. We had an awesome audience today, very engaged actually. So thank you for the questions. If you are listening in the podcast, we are actually going live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays as we're recording this podcast.
And the podcasts are going on the platforms on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
And I think Saturdays, because we're publishing a ton of content, and I think a lot of people are loving it. So maybe Saturdays, we'll see.
Maybe we'll think about it.
Yes. All right. So very, 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 very specific task. Like Fonzie said, go to 3 posts, right? We're going to start really basic. Go to 3 posts, either posts of your dream clients or communities online that serve to your dream client. And look for those comments that mean something to you, and then start that conversation, right? So that's it. If you try this out, which we highly recommend, and you see awesome results, let us know. You can go to contentisprofit.com, drop us your number 1 question in there. Let us know in the comments below if this helped you out. And that's it. I think that's it, man.
Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Thank you, guys. We love you.
All right.